I'm sober, bro, I hate Doritos.
Oh man.
But when I'm high, bro,
that's how I feel about the nacho
Doritos
cheese joints.
Bust,
like
bro.
the nacho cheese Doritos, bro. I
Anyone,
hate them
any Dorito. Any Dorito, yes, bro. They hit high, bro. I don't any single one because I don't even like the Cool Ranch ones. Sober.
Hey, hold up, you capping?
I don't
cool
like
ranch,
those.
But Cool Ranch is amazing. They just did the Cool Ranch Flaming Hot, and I said, bro, we didn't ask you, but we needed it. What is up, and welcome to another episode of the Miseducation of Music. You are here with J-Treb as always, but today I got a special guest in the building because I have a rapper, and not only a rapper. The first time I get to say on the show, I got somebody who's also classically trained at playing the violin, bro.
Yes, sir.
So give it up for the multi-talented, multi-hyphenate King Melik in the building,
Appreciate
bro.
it. Thank y'all for having me, real talk.
Man, look, I'm so glad to have you on here, man. We're gonna chop it up, and I love to say first exposures and first meetings I have with people. So I got to go off the bat, man. It's so dope that the person who brought us together is one of my favorite musicians ever, bro. Zach Vass, shout out to him, man. I was at his show and I saw you show up there, man. And once he explained to me, bro, he told me you was making art. He told me everything about it. I followed that night, bro. I got into the music right then, and it's so dope to now have you on the show. Like, I love when we get those natural connections in music.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to Zach, man. That's my guitarist. Love that dude to death.
Man,
shout out Zachy Wacky. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Not Zachy Wacky. I ain't never heard the nickname.
Oh, Zachy Wacky. Yes, sir. Yeah, we call him Zachy Wacky over here. So.
That's hilarious. Next time he's on the show, I'm definitely introing him with that. I want to see how he takes it if I just do that as the cold open.
At first, he didn't like it, but I think the more we kind of just said it,
it just grew.
It just grew on him. So yeah.
Man, look, that's so dope. But so in that time since we've met, bro, you've dropped a project, Sanctuary, bro. Yes, on top of that, like just the promo for is going crazy. I've been loving seeing, you got some blog posts about it. You got all these other things. We're gonna dive into that, but I love to start at the beginning, bro. Yes, sir, so I gotta know what got you into this, bro. What were the influences that even made you think you could hop in front of a mic?
Man, so basically, in front of a mic, before the mic, like you said, I was classically trained playing violin. So my parents actually put me in the Mayer School of Music program.
Okay, shout out Mayer.
Yeah,
a whole bunch of dope Chicago musicians came out
Yes,
there.
love Mayer School of Music. That was definitely the genesis of my music career. So started off playing violin. And actually, I did not like rap at all.
Yeah, I was about to say these are different zones, man. And I mean, coming from a kid I loved classical when I was in high school. It was classical before rap all the time. Yeah. Like I kept my ear to the rap, but it was like you catch me listening to some Michael Tilson Thomas, Shostakovich before you catch me over here, on the new wave. So like, how did these worlds meet? I mean, so like, when did you start playing violin? Let's start there.
Yeah, so
because to get into merit, I'm assuming. You started young.
Yeah, we were I was super young. Me and my brother, we were both classically trained. He played cello. First, he started off with flute. Then he started off with violin.
Okay, so y'all was like picking obscure instruments from jump is just a thing in your household.
Yeah, but he chose it for different reasons. Like, all right, so we both played violin for like a pretty. I want to say it was 3 months of us just playing violin, and then he wanted to switch over to cello. And, somebody asked him, like, why did you switch over to cello? And, everybody's expecting, like, a good reason, like, because it sounds different.
Because, I really wanted that, that bass clef.
Yeah, that bass clef. Nah, he was like, I just wanted to sit down when I play music. So that's actually
a real story.
He wanted to sit down during every performance. So
hey, I play tuba, so I understand.
Yeah, exactly. So... moving on to that, because I actually never loved rap at all. My sister, she would always blast it in the car, and I couldn't really understand anything. Like, she would be playing the Migos, Gucci Mane, and it would just be super loud. And, being a classically trained artist, you hear dynamics.
Yeah, I was about to say, what I'm saying? The dynamics and the mix are so important.
It's important, and, like, that's part of what makes music to me. So at that time, like, when she would be playing that rambunctious music, I would you
couldn't find that line inside of it. You couldn't kind of break it down.
It was scary to me, bro. Like, I didn't rock with it at all. But I think one time I got my heart broken at Merit School of Music, and my dad picked me up, and he just asked how my day was, and obviously I didn't want to say, I just got my heart broken. I didn't want to say that, but he saw I was kind of in my feelings a little bit, and he turned on "Take Care" by Drake for the first time.
Man,
and, dude, at that moment, I was just like, bro, what the hell is this?
That's the intro to the game. That's when it's like, man, and that's wild, because I'd argue, and I've been talking about this with a couple of friends just about Drake, because like I've had a lot, it's been in the zeitgeist a lot recently, with his drops and things like that. But like that era of Drake when he was working with The Weeknd, and you just have those like beautiful soundscapes, and you have those like very large sections in the music. Like if you listen to the song "Take Care," you can hear, like as you spoke on, like with the classical music, those separate sections. You can hear the full structure of how that music is inside of there.
Absolutely, yeah. Drake, "Take Care," that album just definitely changed my life.
It's goated.
It changed my life, and like I don't think there's ever gonna be an album that cures me the way that.
Oh yeah, it hit at the right time.
It just hit exactly when I needed it, and I was a kid, but kids go through shit too.
Oh yeah, no. And your problems are large and they scale with you.
Exactly.
So it's like at that time period, you might be small, but your problems are also small.
Exactly.
Everything's big.
Exactly. Bro.
Man, so that's what's up. So that's kind of what got you over to this zone. Now, that's a whole different vibe than saying I can do both of these things now. Yeah. Because I mean, it had to be daunting coming from a classical background, being at the Merit School, and then being like, well, I'm gonna go into a genre that almost has nothing to do with this.
Absolutely. Man, dude, that's such a great point. And yeah, I was kind of like the only person at Merit who wanted to do stuff like vocally that wasn't, opera singing, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like
I'm
the
only
first
one who's like, I'm trying to lose the dictation.
I'm trying to make it, like a little bit more urban, like make it a little bit more swaggy, you know what I'm saying? So it was definitely weird being kind of the only anomaly in Merit, but it definitely made me feel some type of special, so I appreciated it.
It was like, I got a little bit of uniqueness.
I'm unique, yeah, for sure.
Now, so Take Care, was that around the time of the release when you heard it?
It had to have been, because I was probably like 12 or 13.
Oh, yeah, okay, that
cool. Dropped,
so
I was like 2011, I think.
Yeah, it's like the 2011 time period. Yeah. So that dropping into you, laying down the first rap, what's the time frame there?
Laying down the first rap? So, man. I actually didn't make a rap for my first song.
What was it? Were you just singing on it?
It was like a singing song. Like, I loved One Direction growing up, believe it or not. I love One Direction. So at this talent show, when I was like probably 14, I like made this one song called One Question. And it was basically like, it's just one question. I don't know why I'm being shy.
And it just had that,
that poppy,
like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, and the guys are like, like, what the hell? Like, what? We weren't expecting that. But like, the girls are like, they fucking with it. Like they're like kind of going crazy. I'm
like, I'm still getting gassed up.
Yeah, I'm getting gassed up.
Fine.
Exactly. So I'm like, I'm rocking with it. And I think even now, like, I don't really make rap music.
It just kind of fits into the genre. I can see where you're coming from, because I definitely say it is more in that singing style.
Yeah, for sure.
It's weird the way the genres have blended.
Definitely.
I mean, for your preference, would you prefer to be called a singer?
It's weird, because I feel like I'm not a rapper. I'm not a singer. I don't know.
Music.
I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? I'm a recording artist.
I like that.
Yeah.
So your artistry then, that's been on this crazy path this whole time. Like, man, like you've gone so crazy to go from like working in classical music to then melding it together, doing your One Direction vibe. Yeah. What were some of the phases you went through name wise? Like, what was the first name you had when
as an artist?
Yeah, when you were being an artist in some form, where you were like, this is a persona. I'm not going by just my name. Yeah. What's the first one? You got a smile, so I already know you remember it. What was it?
So King Melik has probably been my name for the longest, but I did have a name because I made up some Minecraft name when I was a kid.
Oh, man.
And I used that.
And it seeped over.
Yeah, and I was like, maybe I can use this, and it was called Exlius. And I don't know where it came from. I don't know.
You even know what it means?
I don't know what it means. I don't know where it's from.
It sounds cool.
It just sounded cool. It had an X in it, and I was just like, I can rock with that. It's like different. So Exlius PvP was my name for like 2 days. And then I was
For
like,
2 days
yeah,
only?
I'm gonna go back to King Malik. I'm
That's
messing with
what's
that
up.
more. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's super dope. I see a lot of people incorporating their real names into their names these days because it's like there's no point of like separating the whole persona. It's like this is me. Like, you know, whether you add, you know, something in front of it or behind it.
Absolutely.
So that's really dope. Now, you know, to get out of these old questions because we got to get into the new stuff, man. You're going so crazy. Just looking at your 2022 was insane. Like you had a dope year for an artist, but just a dope year in general.
Yeah, it was like
I mean, because I was looking at it from the perspective of your Instagram, and I'm just like performance after performance after trip, and I'm like, hey man, I wish my 22 was that smooth, man. But,
it was fun. Yeah.
But before we get into this year and this current music, that first performance you were talking about, kind of take me through it. What was the vibe? What was the audience like? Like, I want to know, like, damn near the granular details of it. Like, how were you feeling? Were you ready for it? Is this something you always knew you were going to do?
So you're talking about the talent show thing, right?
This talent show, man. Like, the one where you were like, I am a stage performer. Like,
yeah. Man, so, okay. So there was, like, a DJ, and he was like, what beat do you want? What beat do you want? It's, like, my turn to come up. And I'm like, I knew what I wanted, but I didn't want to say it. I wanted to just type it in. But he was just like, no, you have to tell me. Like, I got to, like, program it in.
And is that one of those, like, nervous things in the moment?
Yeah, it was. I was nervous because I never, like, really hit a stage, like, vocally. I always had an instrument in my hand.
It was the buffer.
Yeah, so like, it was very uncomfortable. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to just put myself out there.
We got to do it.
Yeah, I said, you know, screw it. Let's do it. And I used the acoustic instrumental of Justin Bieber's Boyfriend song. Okay. And it was dope, but nobody really expected it. Okay. Like as soon as like the beat came on, everybody was like,
they're like, what are you about to do to this shit?
What is he about to do? Like, they thought I didn't know if they thought I was gonna dance or say some poetry type shit. Like, I didn't know what people were expecting, but they definitely looked at me like, what the? And mind you, I doubt I was anywhere near of a vocalist back then.
Yeah, but I mean, that doesn't matter. It's all about getting on the stage.
Yeah. And I feel like people were hyping me up for sure. And that was and they were showing me love. Like in the beginning, I was kind of insecure a little bit, but people were starting to hype me up. So, you know, I'm starting to let my hair down a little bit. Definitely see the biddies kind of hyping me up a little bit. I was like, I bet I'm gonna sing for you for real quick for the one time. So. And
then was this like a school thing? Was this an audience of school?
Yeah, people? It was actually one of the summer programs I was part of, and it was like over at Imani Village. It's called Freedom School, and me and my brother, we were enrolled in that, and they had a little talent show. So that was kind of the first performance unintentionally.
Unintentionally.
I didn't know. I had no idea.
Man, but it created what you have today. Yes, now, after that, did that lead you into being like, I got to do this again, or was it a step back? Or
I was like, I need to write this down. You know what I mean? I was like, let me come up with a song, like a structure, like so I'm not like freeballing it, because I definitely started, and then I would go back into that.
It's like I'm a mumble
I mumble a little bit. But no, it definitely was a snowball effect because I wanted to start writing and start recording a lot more.
Damn. So that kind of put the whole thing in effect, man. That's so dope. Now, going from your first performance, we're going to transition right into these recent ones.
Okay, for sure.
And I mean, like, we can go a little bit back with, you performed on Windy City Live, which that's a Chicago staple.
Yes,
Congratulations on getting that. How was that feeling then?
Man, performing on TV for the first time.
In that comparison. Because I mean, we're just talking about this. I'm going to hop up and let me get the Boyfriend Justin Bieber to performing on television.
Yeah, it was definitely a very dramatic shift, as you said. But yeah, performing with my brother on stage and performing with some of my best friends, it was definitely a surreal moment. I love the whole, you know, you can't curse on stage. You got to kind of change the lyrics. There's a live studio audience.
So you enjoy kind of like being on that, like.
I love it.
Dope,
I love it because it's just a different feel. I just like when artists kind of have to change it up a little bit.
You gotta have to show your creativity.
Yeah.
Else.
Like Sting, I love Sting, and he, like my dad and I love Sting, and he's done that a lot. And just kind of watching him change a song to kind of make it a reggae version, or even me, I love performing with a band. So the band version is a lot different than the track album.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be completely different because I mean, even the instrumentation that you use inside of your music is like. it's so broad. It's almost like this is made for your car, your headphones.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, of course, I know you give a show when you do it live because you've performed, and just in the last year, man, you did a So Far Sound show, which is another congratulations. It's a great staple as an artist.
Yes, sir.
And you performed at another Chicago staple event, the Taste of Chicago, man. Tell me, so you almost forgot, man. Come on, these are the dopest things ever, and these are some things you've done. I want to give you your flowers for, like rocking those stages. What's the process now? So I mean, you definitely have come a long way from the let me rap here, and then you got your live TV performance, and now just going into that natural progression that you're in. You did a So Far show. That audience, you don't even get to pick it.
Right.
You just show up, and you kind of got to face it there. Like, what's a performance like that like in difference than when you get to do Taste of Chicago?
For like So Far and Taste of Chicago?
Yeah, because I'm assuming Taste of Chicago, you get a little bit more freedom. I saw you up there with the band. I saw that was really more hype.
Yeah.
So Far is an intimate. For those who don't know, like the So Far shows that take place, it's an invite thing. Well, not invite so much as you buy your ticket beforehand. You don't know the lineup. You
don't know the artist.
So like you walk in, you're sitting there in the crowd. You could be talking to somebody who's about to perform. You have no clue because no one even tells you during the performance.
Exactly.
So these shows are so dope. I love going because I always end up sitting and talking with somebody who goes, "Hey, hold up, I gotta go perform." And I'm just like, this is so dope. I love that aspect of it. So that is like so much different than I'm outside.
Right.
We got a band. Right. I'm trying to get these people hype. I'm trying to get these people to come watch my show. Yeah. What's the differences there now with how you are as an artist and a performer?
So me as a performer, if you ever see me perform or want to see me perform, I always love to bring energy when I'm performing, just kind of having the crowd rowdy and hype, you know what I'm saying? So when So Far hit me back for like, yo, we want you guys to do this, it was definitely, I was excited because I know my performances are usually pretty hype and like
this is back to you talking about you like artists having these boxes.
Change it up, you know what I'm saying? So when they came to me, I was like, man, I just want to flip the script a little bit. I got to do something different. So I think obviously having a band definitely makes life a lot easier when you, in terms of creativity, changing things up.
You get so many different brains.
Exactly. And that's a point I don't even realize all the time, because even having people like Gabe and the entire band, but Gabriel especially, because he's a sound engineer, I went to school for it. Hearing him, who's my pianist, by the way, shout out Gabriel Alex.
Shout out Gabe,
yes,
man.
Sir. He's definitely one of the people I go to say, like, is this dope? Is this not dope? Like, should I switch this up here?
Extra pair of ears, man. That definitely really does change something. It changes something just about, like, your final product.
Exactly.
Because now it's like, this was my art. I showed you my art. And now I'm getting your interpretation mixed with what I did. Exactly. And then I'm going to come in on top of that.
Exactly.
And now we done created this crazy sound thing. So I'm assuming, it sounds like that might be your favorite type of performing over the So Far setup. So how'd you break it down for So Far?
So for So Far, we just wanted to make things intimate. We wanted to make things personal to the audience. A lot of the songs, especially on Sanctuary, is a lot personal to me. It's very personal to me. So I thought it was going to be pretty easy to kind of transition into a more intimate vibe, and I think we did a pretty good job. We got a lot of great reactions.
What'd you do for in terms of instrumentation? Was it like you brought the computer with you and you had some stripped down versions, or did you bring a few musicians?
Yeah, I actually brought my entire band.
You brought the entire band?
We just did the entire band. We didn't do any tracks or anything like that. We still have my traditional setup live to kind of have my vocals go through my computer and have my band do what they do. And we just made it an intimate, like an acoustic version of it almost.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Out of those two performances that are pretty large from this year, which one had like the most rewarding feeling for you?
That's a great question. I remember going to the Taste of Chicago when I was like a shorty.
Oh yeah, bro. I've been going since I was a kid.
You know what I'm saying? So kind of going from participant to performer was definitely a big deal. But then you look at the So Far shows, I'll see Ed Sheeran and Billie Eilish.
Yeah, I was about to say, dude, So Far has a very large name.
Yeah, so like performing in that same kind of venue that those artists of that magnitude performed at is definitely rewarding. But if I had to choose one of them, I think I would have to go with the Taste, because it was just very special. First time performing with that particular band.
Oh,
that was our first show. That was actually our first show because I didn't have a guitarist at the time. And we kind of needed one last minute. So one of my mutuals got me in contact with Zach. Man. And we were like, yeah, it's the Taste of Chicago. And we kind of just need a guitar. And then, because that was our very first.
We haven't worked together.
Literally.
Would you like to perform with the Taste of Chicago?
Right. It was basically like that.
Hey, well, I know Zach came through.
He definitely did.
Like, talk about somebody who gets music quick, man.
Yes,
he lives it. But that's so dope. I do want to ask you one more question before we step away from performance and get into Sanctuary, man. How is it picking a band? How did it come together? We got the little piece about the guitarist here, but like for you, a person where I feel like when I listen to Sanctuary, especially on the first track, the soundscape is so beautiful. It's so large. It's grand. You can hear every piece of it. There's singers. There's noises everywhere. How do you go about like picking a band for that type of production?
So that's a great question. When I think about a band, I want whenever you hear a track of me, I always want to mimic that track as best as I can on a live performance. That's why I bring my setup from my, tune and reverb and etc.
And so is the goal to get it as close to the performance that they heard, but then also add something to it?
Yeah, it's either to get it close or reimagine it in a creative way. You know what I mean? But to keep it as close as possible. But yeah, it's definitely rewarding to see a band kind of mimic that. My brother, who's my bassist, I'll go down the line real quick, but I didn't really have a choice. That's my brother.
It's like that's
but he said
something.
he was gonna be in it regardless. But I'm super fortunate that he's dope as hell at what he does. Yeah. And he's also
like he's in there because he was gonna be in there, but don't think he ain't cold as hell.
No, but he's cold as hell because I'm not no if you're just because you're my brother, you'll be a part of it.
Yeah, it's like you got to be cold too.
And he's cold as hell. And he's even a music director of mine that I go to quite frequently just for advice.
It sounds like you got a good collaboration.
Yeah, we do. We have I have a great team. I'm blessed to have those guys around me for sure.
So you got your brother on the bass. Who else you got around you?
Yes, sir. So I have Gabriel Alex on keys.
Shout out, you mentioned him.
Shout out my boy Gabe again.
Once again, great ears all around.
Yeah, great ears all around. Then I have Zach on guitar, as we mentioned, and I got my boy James on drums. And
full set,
and he's insane. All of them are insane.
Bruh.
And another thing, like if you're on the band, like you got to bring the energy. And all of us can bring, that energy. Cause
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get that energy on one accord? Is it a lot of rehearsal? Is it just making sure you find people who are on the same page? Like, how do you get that energy? It seems like you have a very good band. I mean, like, you all seem to be doing everything together for a minute. Where I was just like, yo, they got so many shows. They got so much shit. It's so dope to see that and to get that cohesion. You don't really see a lot. Yeah.
You don't really see it anymore, especially as rappers. I would say, like, you don't really
definitely.
see. But I think the more we spent time together, the tighter we got. And honestly, the Taste of Chicago, like I said, that was our first show. But after that first rehearsal, we felt something.
It was like, this
is something.
This is just one gig.
Yeah, exactly. And we have our ups and downs because I remember the second rehearsal was like awful. And we just did not like it, and it wasn't
the honesty.
Yeah, and it was, and I'll be straight up because like we're great and we know our potential, but I think because that first rehearsal went so great, that second rehearsal was just like, damn, like what the hell is this now?
It's like hold up, I'm not feeling the magic.
Yeah, the energy's off. Like I don't know what it was, and I'm sure everybody in the band would say the same thing. Like it just was different, but that's kind of the hurdles you have as a band. Like you're gonna have your great sounding days, and then you're gonna have your days where you could have sounded better, and you guys were like, damn, we just kind of sound like shit right now. And
then kind of going through those to create know, that new sound from all of it.
Exactly.
That's what's up, man. Sure. That's what's up. Now take me through the creation of Sanctuary a little bit. So from the process, where are you pick the beats first? You got the rhymes first. What's the vibe?
So honestly, man, I made Sanctuary when I was in a pretty dark ass place in my life. It was kind of tough, kind of.
That's very ironic with the name, too.
Yeah, I know, right? And because a lot of people think it's like a religious term, like you think about a sanctuary at a church or something like that. But really, it really means a place of refuge. And when I chose the word sanctuary, I wanted to kind of talk about losing that sanctuary and losing that peace of mind that that's always there, and now it's not. And because it originally was supposed to be called When the Sanctuary Burns.
Oh, okay.
It was actually When the Sanctuary Burns to Ashes. And then it was When the Sanctuary Burns. I was like, no, I just like Sanctuary.
It's like, we're just taking everything.
You're going to take everything. Like, I like Sanctuary.
It's like, you got to listen to get the rest
of it.
Yeah,
you have to listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think we did a pretty good job kind of capturing.
I think you did as well. Now, you said it does have that darker vibe. You can definitely hear it in the instrumentation. I mean, the beats you picked are all just so perfect for your voice. Like, I always commend people who are just so good at picking beats for their sound, even when they're creating new sounds and trying out new things. Like, the decision of yours, the whole first minute of the intro is not really, it's more sound than anything else. It's just beautiful sounds happening.
Yeah, it's actually a sound of an orchestra tuning. Because as a classical trained violinist and being in orchestras all the time, the first thing we would do when we have a concert is everybody's tuning. You know what I'm saying? So, and you're a musician yourself, so when you would perform, the first thing you do is tune. So I thought the best way to kind of start that project was just start with everybody kind of
everybody kind of out of it, and then like bringing the chaos together when you hear that first hit come through. Man, that's so cool. Now, with a theme like this, were you writing with this in mind the entire time, or did you kind of get some songs together and you went, now this is the theme? Because all the beats I'm picking got these dark 808s. This is just going to be a dark 808 project.
Yeah, so it yes and no. I think the intro was probably one of the later songs I recorded because I knew how I wanted the intro to sound, because it definitely gave me like a Euphoria type vibe, and that's what I was kind of looking for. And because I make so many songs, I probably have at least like 200, 300 songs in my hard drive alone.
You see, that's always a question for the project. So while we're here, let me just ask, how many tracks were left on the cutting room floor for this specific project?
Man, I probably have about...
like could have made it to
could have made it. Okay, so there's 10 tracks on Sanctuary. I feel like there was at least 20 I scrapped.
Man,
20 to 22 songs I scrapped.
Man, I love hearing that, because that lets me know people be working so hard, bro. That's so dope that you you're picking from essentially a 30-track selection of what to put together, and then you have to decide how to build your story.
Absolutely. And I never want to drop a project, even when I want to be an established, well-known artist. I never want to drop a project that's too long, because I feel like that kind of takes away from the point of an album, because I don't want just singles, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want it to be a story. I want people to kind of just press play and like listen to it. It's only like,
see, I'm one of them press play people. I love when people get me like damn near a 20 track. They all go together. No real singles, but like obvious B-sides.
Right, exactly.
Like I love one of those, but I know that's not the public conscious.
Right,
the public conscious is quick content.
Right, exactly. And I still wanted to find a way to implement that mainstream appeal and / high replay value. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was a pretty good balanced attempt on that.
Man, that's what's up. Now, this project is so awesome. I love the way it was created. I love how much intention you put behind it. I got to ask you a question that I ask everyone who comes on the show, especially for someone like you who has dabbled in so much creativity and you have your hands in different pots. What do you do to keep up with your creativity? What do you do to foster it, to take care of it? Like, for some people, they say they like to step away. Some people are just like, yo, I'm just going to play it on repeat, but I'm not going to have the intention of, like creating right now. Like, what do you do to make sure that you have that battery for if you got to go do a performance or if you need to be in the studio?
Man, I think I think energy is definitely my main thing. I always have high energy, especially during performances.
How do you recharge to it though?
I don't think I have. I don't know. I think just the adrenaline of kind of doing it makes
knowing
me,
you got something to do just gives you the motivation.
Just having that passion of something I've always wanted to do with my family and like with my brother.
I was about to say that's got to be dope. Having your brother along for the ride has to feel nice.
It's so rewarding to kind of see him grow up at the same time as growing to his manhood, explore himself in ways that I've seen myself explore, and kind of still exploring because I don't know exactly who I am yet, but anytime I can kind of bring him under my wing, it definitely means a lot for sure. So seeing him on stage with me and seeing him next to me definitely recharges me because I kind of have my person to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like my sanctuary. You know what I'm saying? Like
he's right there.
He's my sanctuary. Like he's one of my sanctuaries that I can definitely be at ease with, argue with, yell with, hype up with, cry with, laugh with. So
it's like we're gonna go through all of it together.
Yeah, we're gonna go through all of this together. Exactly.
That's so dope, man. That's so dope. So I feel like it seems like not only energy is the thing, but feeding off the energy seems to be where you get it from.
Man.
So I mean, having those people around you. I mean, from the team you built, from the way you create your music, I could just see that you love having that whole thing around you.
Absolutely, man.
That's so dope, man. Now, another question that I like to ask people, and I'm sure yours is going to be so interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
If you had unlimited budget to create your dream project,
right,
whatever it is, it could be a musical project, it could be a live performance show you want to get off, but there's no budget for this. You can get whoever you want. They're not going to say no.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So if you need a 3 stacks verse on this track, you need a 3. Like, what would it be? Like, like break it down for me. Would it be a concert you want to put on with a certain band or having certain artists come out? Or would it be a project or an EP you want to release with certain producers on it? What would it be for you?
Man, that's such a great question.
It's only good for 24 hours. So, like, look.
Only good for 24 hours.
No. I'm just saying, like, if your answer changes tomorrow, nobody can hold this.
Exactly.
Nobody can hold you to this right
Thank you for the disclaimer.
It's just for right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Off the top.
Man, that I love that question. If money was obsolete for 24 hours, I would probably, and I know what you mean. Man, I would need a Drake feature.
Okay.
I think it would be very interesting to hear me and Elton John make something.
Man, so it sounds like you're taking the project route. You
want
a project with all these people?
It's definitely.
We got Elton John and Drake already. Yeah, I'm here for it. I gotta see how that
absolutely. I love them as artists. Obviously, I would love Kanye on some type of like.
It's like, do something. I don't know exactly what I want you to do, but do something.
He's a mastermind musically.
Hey, I like that disclaimer.
And so I could go on and on, really.
Oh, no, go on and on. That's what the show's for, man.
Yeah.
Who else you need in that room? Even the obscure ones, man. The ones you think nobody else would even call up, bro.
Man, I would love...
Cause so like, and I'll help you out here. So you got 2 features on there. When it comes to production, are there any producers? Any other producers where it's like, man, like if I had a beat touched by that person?
I think TM88 would definitely go crazy. I really love
that would be it. I'd love to hear a little mix here.
Yeah, I like TM88. Definitely, of course, a Metro Boomin song would be pretty cool. I would think. I could even have my little tag on there.
Oh, that would be nice.
You know what I'm saying? Man.
Any cool musicians you want to work with? Anybody you've seen like in the classical realm, in the like musical realm of like rap and hip hop or anything like that?
I think getting Yo-Yo Ma on the song would be so
filthy.
Fire.
That would be filthy, bro.
Fire.
Like to get Yo-Yo Ma to cross genres, man, you'd be a legend forever.
For sure. And he's super diverse. Like I love Yo-Yo Ma because of his versatility. But I think kind of implementing his sound to my track would definitely be kind of otherworldly.
I can't even imagine what you would build out from that.
For sure. I don't know, but I know I could. I could muster up something that I think Yo-Yo will go crazy on for sure.
That's so dope. Now, would you want all these people in the studio together? You want to have separate sessions with everybody and try to find a vibe?
Man, that's a good question because I usually only record by myself.
Damn,
I have studio sessions where I'll have people listen, or if I like want to put somebody on
trying to get that first iteration out.
Yeah, it's just
like,
me.
This is just me locked in.
Yeah, it's just me. And then it helps that I can mix and master.
So
by
you
myself.
go. So it's like hey, we got Elton coming on Thursday. You gonna get all of your shit done.
Down on Wednesday. Yeah, exactly.
Wednesday, I'm gonna have something to show them, and then we can build off that.
We'll build off that because I don't know. It's not even so much of a insecurity. It's just I feel most creative by myself. I don't know. I'm
like when you don't have that outside influence.
Yeah,
I kind of feel that in certain spaces. There are some pieces of creativity where it's like, especially like when it comes to even this podcast, I don't watch podcasts about music on the day I come to do this show.
Right.
Because it's gonna seep into what I'm like. I'm gonna start asking you questions Charlamagne would ask, and that's not me.
Right.
You know, things
you
like that.
Stick to your script. Exactly.
And I feel like that's kind of the same vibe you're going for there, where it's like, let me get a loan so I can get my creativity and then we can pass it on.
Absolutely.
And then other people can add to it.
Absolutely.
That's so dope. Look, man, hey, I'm ready for that project. Whatever it may be, bro. That would be so cool. Just to like imagine track 2 has Elton, track 6 has Drake. Oh man.
Call up Yo-Yo. We gotta go crazy.
Yo-Yo Mob and Metro Boomin is doing the drums.
Oh man.
Come on. Like how wild would that be, bro?
Hey.
That would be straight insane to hear, G.
It would be.
Man, look, now before we get out of here, I always gotta ask, what do you have coming up next for the people so that they can see it? Like you got videos on the way, performances, new music. We just pushing Sanctuary right now.
Yes, sir. Sanctuary is definitely my main horse right now. Got a lot of cool performances. We won. Me and the band, we won a few prizes at the Chicago Made A&R competition. So we got some performances that we're excited to announce about. And so stream Sanctuary out on all platforms.
Stream Sanctuary on all platforms, man. Now look, thank you so much for coming on the show, dude. Whenever somebody's going out, I love to have their tracks playing in the background. So what track should we leave them with right now off Sanctuary? Man, we got to give them something off Sanctuary.
What you think, Gabby? Mocha? I think Mocha. Yeah, let's hit them with Mocha.
We was listening to Mocha on the way here.
Okay, for sure.
So look, you're hearing Mocha playing in the background right now, man. Thank you so much, King Melik, for coming on the podcast.
Appreciate you,
Make sure you are playing this show for everybody. Share this show everywhere so everybody can hear King Melik's new music, man. Play the show for your mama, your sister, your auntie, your baby mama, bro. Play it for your dog. Play it for your house while it's settling. Bro, this podcast is just great to have on. It can be in the background of anything. So while you're doing that, make sure you're liking, commenting, and subscribing. Man, make sure to check out King Melik on all streaming platforms and make sure you're streaming Sanctuary. We are out.
Yes, sir. Love y'all.